And welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show. I am Mike. My man over here to my left is Marcus on this beautiful Monday day, afternoon, morning, whatever day it is. Marcus, how you,
Yeah,
how, how you doing today, man?
I am feeling absolutely fabulous now that the Golden State Warriors, the mini little dynasty that they were, are on the brink of elimination. It feels really good.
Well, speaking of a dynasty, a Spurs instant Hall of Famer in your words, Tony Parker is calling it quits. A quote from him earlier today saying, "I cannot be Tony Parker anymore." So what are your thoughts on his
Yeah.
retirement?
Well, I'm glad he said that quote because a lot of players hang on for a long time. It messes with their career numbers. They only, you don't see them as being dominant anymore or even really good or good. They end up hanging on and, getting a little 8 points here, a little 3 assists, a little 4 rebounds. And it just kind of looks like, God, why do I want to look at that? I watched Akeem Olajuwon in a Toronto Raptor uniform. It was painful. I watched Patrick Ewing in a Seattle Supersonic uniform. It was painful. I mean, players should just retire, man. Like I listen. I mean, there's one argument. Who are we to just tell the guy to tell him to call it quits on something he loves to do? But I mean, I would ask them, do you want to average 5 points a game and 2 rebounds and just sit there on the bench? I mean, if you, I wouldn't do it. I'd want to retire. Listen, I know you shouldn't retire. Averaging 20 points a game. But damn, don't retire. I mean, you shouldn't want to retire averaging 4 points a game. Should be somewhere in there. You're still contributing. And Tony Parker came to that conclusion. He realized it that he can't be himself anymore. So he
Right.
made the correct decision to retire. He talked about like he wanted to play 20 years and all that. Yeah, baloney. I mean, let's stop that right now. Years is good. You weren't the same player the last year. Just don't be that guy that averages 3 points a game. I'm so glad that he decided to retire. Parker is an instant Hall of Famer. Um, he's one of only 4 point guards in NBA history to get over 19,000 points and 7,000 assists. Think about that for a second. Only four have done it. Stephen Curry will join that list. He'll be the fifth in a couple of years.
Hmm.
Um, Steve Nash isn't on that list because Nash didn't get the points. Magic Johnson's not even on that list because Magic didn't get the points. So, I mean, Parker was a scoring machine, and he's a hell of a player throughout his career. So, only one of 4 point guards to have 19,000 points and 7,000 assists. That's pretty remarkable. Um, he developed over time his jumper. It wasn't very good. He was the fastest player in the league, but he needed to develop a jump shot. He did do that. He didn't develop a deadly 3 point shot or anything, but it was good enough to keep him relevant, like in his 12th, 13th, and 14th and 15th seasons. He developed it good enough, so he won't look terrible out there, which was really really good for his career. Chip England really worked with him on that. Um, and I hate to say this, but man, I remember everything, every situation in San Antonio Spurs. He did kind of cost us there, the 2012 championship by not hitting a couple of jumpers when we needed to him against Oklahoma City. But hey, you can't make them all, Tony. So, anyways, hell of a career, instant Hall of Famer, and hopefully, hopefully he'll sign with the Spurs like for a little 1 day contract or something and retire a Spur or something like that. Isn't
Yeah.
that what they normally do? You just witnessed Jamal Charles do that with Kansas City.
Hmm.
I think did you see the video? He got a last handoff
Yep.
from
Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a pretty
So
good deal.
Tony will probably do that in the next few days.
Yeah, yeah, like he was such a staple in San Antonio for so long. Like it was weird not seeing him on the court like the last two seasons because because this year like he obviously wasn't on the Spurs, but then like his 16th year like he didn't really play a whole lot either from the games I saw. I didn't watch a lot of Spurs games because we don't get a lot of Spurs games up here.
Uh,
So like it was just like it was weird not seeing him be the focal point of the offense. So yeah, I mean, just like you said, like he had a great career, uh, instant Hall of Famer, like just like obviously, and it would be awesome if the Spurs would do that for him, sign a one
yeah.
day contract, or maybe even say, hey, what if we need you in the playoffs, man? Come on over. But
Nah, the Spurs are
that
too much guard heavy. Nah, that won't happen.
right, but so great career for him. Like we'll start seeing more people come out and retire here in the next few weeks as the season comes to an end. Probably tomorrow. So
Hey,
I've go
hey,
ahead.
Michael, real quick, switch gears here. You said you've been out of it for a little while. Big Poppy, David Ortiz got shot the other night.
Yes,
You saw that?
yes, that
See that?
was
Okay.
it was a attempted robbery, and he was shot in
Yeah,
the
in the
Dominican
leg.
Republic. But I don't know, like if he was getting robbed because the reports, like I've seen different reports. The latest report saying that the person who shot him was being detained by the police, and then he was shot.
Right.
So I'm not for sure, like if he was
I
like if he was getting robbed or if somebody else was getting robbed, and he
yeah.
just happened to be a wrong place, wrong time.
Well, he got. It's a good thing he got shot in the leg. So
Yeah,
he's gonna be okay. And I guess they got to him really quickly. So it's a good thing it was a leg wound. Although in your inner thigh, that's considered pretty bad. You could bleed out really quickly.
yeah. There's that major artery
I had a
there.
friend that got. Yeah, I had a friend that got shot there, and he died. Like, you think, oh, just a leg shot. Now it depends on where it is. Get shot in the leg,
Right.
dude. That's it. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm glad he it looks like he's in okay condition, stable condition, as they say, and he'll pull through. Um, and I'm not saying, hey, look, man, go out. Your Big Poppy, man. Go out and have a good time.
Right.
But man, he's already like 44 years old, man. I don't know the nightclub thing, man. He might want to retire that now.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like, and
saw
listen, let me
like
say
I
this. I know
saw
it's
he
not
was
his
at a
fault or anything.
yeah, like I saw that he was at in like a theme park. Like he wasn't in like a bar or something, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't. Okay, see, I'll
Like
stand
I've been
corrected. What
checked out
time?
of the
I wonder.
world, but yeah, but like
Yeah,
I thought it.
what time was this?
It was I don't remember. Like I for some reason I remember seeing 11:44, but I don't know
Okay.
whether that's AM or PM. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, the
It,
things that I saw were all kind of vague because there's a lot of not of information happening or
right.
coming from there.
But
So
all these players worry about, to be honest, that's why I say retire the nightclub thing. And I'm not just speaking for Big Poppy, too Big Poppy, like all of them should retire it once they get, because they're targets, man.
yeah,
There's poor people here in America and Dominican Republic, and there's some thugs out there that see Big Poppy and go, hey, man, he might have jewelry on him. He might have
right,
something on him. We can get something off of him. It's not going to hurt him. He can just go buy it again.
yeah,
And then at Big Poppy, if you don't give it to them, they might shoot your ass. So
right.
you're a walking target.
Just like the guy from the Saints got killed a couple years ago,
Yeah.
Smith. And then the other
Yes.
guy from the Cardinals
Will Smith.
got shot and killed. So yeah, I mean
Yeah. I mean, it's dangerous
it's
out there.
like it happens a lot. And then the guy from Seattle got shot a couple years ago like as well. Like his name's slipping my mind. Uh, but
Yeah.
but he
No, I
got shot
understand.
and killed too. But yeah,
I remember being at a nightclub in San Antonio. It was probably like 98 or 99, and it was the summer, and Shaq was there, and there was a little murmur throughout the club because I was there, and I kind of over. These guys were getting ready to rob Shaq, and Shaq got wind of it and got the hell out of there.
hmm.
So I
That's
mean, dude. I was like, I was like, man, I'm leaving too because I don't want to catch a straight bullet here, so I'm out of here.
yeah.
And that's back when I was like 20. Shaq and I are the same age. He's just like maybe a year older than I am. We were probably 27 years old. We were, and I've seen Shaq at the club back then.
Yeah.
When I used to go to him. So Shaq was there. I've seen Shaq probably 3 times at a nightclub, but this one time it was called the NCO Club here in San Antonio, and he had hurried up and got the hell out of there once.
Yeah.
Once the little rumors started flying, he was out of there.
That's a smart move by him and his team to
Yeah.
overhear that stuff and
Right.
get out of Dodge. Like more
Right.
like if he was not as smart as he is, there would have been a scuffle. I bet and something would have probably happened.
Oh yeah.
So, but let's go on and move on to the Golden State versus Toronto Raptors series. Raptors beat Golden State on Friday night to take a commanding 3-1 lead here.
Yes.
Marcus is excited over there. Just to throw some numbers at you. Teams in the NBA Finals that go down 3-1 are 1-33. The only team to come back from a 3-1 series is the Cavs. So,
Yeah.
Marcus, first of
And
all,
the Cavs did it.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. First of all, like, what are your thoughts of this series? Is it over tonight when Game 5 happens?
it's over tonight. There is no savior. I mean, if Kevin Durant plays, he won't be the same. Toronto's just too good defensively, and I've said that I picked the Toronto Raptors to win the NBA title. Um, I picked them to come out of the East, and I said they would be the only team that could give out of the Eastern Conference. I said this in October. They're the only team that could give the Warriors a good run because they play such great defense. The Warriors would have never seen great defense like that in the finals at all. Not even from LeBron James, who's a heck of a defender in the 2016 series. The Toronto Raptors are just so good defensively that they would have given the Warriors fits even with a healthy KD. The Warriors might have won the series, but it wouldn't have been some cakewalk. Um, but yeah, listen. I part of me hopes Durant comes back, and the other part of me is like, oh no, maybe I don't want that. But I don't think Durant's going to risk it. I really don't. His calf injury could affect it affects what I've heard is it affects your Achilles as well. If you have a bad calf, it could weigh on your Achilles, and your Achilles could give out. So I don't know why he would risk that injury. I know it's to win a championship, but he's got his future to look at. He hasn't signed a long-term deal yet. And all these people talking about Kevin Durant, he'll come back if the Warriors lose, he'll sign another 1 year deal. Why? You're 30, 31 years old. You got to quit doing the 1 year deals, man. You have to get to a place and sign like the 5 year, 190 million or 4 year, 130 something $1 million deal, man. You got to quit doing the 1 year deals. The only person that's probably going to do a 1 year deal is Kawhi Leonard because they'll eventually win this series. And then Kawhi, he's only 27 years old. Kawhi will do a 2 year deal worth about 60 million, and then it'll be an opt out after year one. So he'll be a free agent again at 28 years old. But Kevin Durant is not in that position, man. You have got to look out for your future, and you can't do any more 1 year deals at age 30. So I don't expect Durant to play. I really don't. If he does, wow. And then but I don't think they'll win anyway because Toronto is just too good defensively, and they have Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the world.
Yeah.
And everybody when they got that Marcus All when they did the Marcus All trade, I really put a slam dunk on it.
Yeah.
Now, let me reiterate too, because let me be fair to the people here. I did pick the Bucks in 7 when they played Toronto because when I'm picking Toronto in the offseason, I knew Budenholzer was going to the Bucks, Coach Budenholzer. I knew he would change the Bucks, but I didn't realize he would change them into a juggernaut.
Yeah, they
so
were
Milwaukee
a
is a hell
solid
of a
team.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Milwaukee was a hell of a team. And then I also factored in Kawhi Leonard just got off a Game 7 last-second shot, and it took him, everything he had to beat Philadelphia. So I don't know how much left he'd have in the tank for Milwaukee, but even he's proved me wrong. Kawhi Leonard is just an absolutely amazing athlete. He does look a little hurt, injured, because we're not seeing that same explosiveness that we saw from him in the Milwaukee series. Or especially the Philadelphia series when he was really explosive. Milwaukee series, he was still explosive, but he was losing it a little bit. And now I think he's only had like one dunk in this series, like one dunk on people. It was the left hand he drove baseline. Kawhi usually does that 3 or 4 times a game, and I think he's only had one this series. It's very weird. But that being said, he's still dominating. Max Kellerman.
Missing a little bit of Marcus there. Oh, there he is back. Well, welcome back. You cut out when you started saying Max Kellerman. So anything Max says
Only
is
21 years old. And you know what his numbers were in the 2013 finals? 15 points and 11 rebounds.
beautiful.
There were
Beautiful
15
stuff.
points and 11 rebounds. Yeah, in the 2013 finals. So he's been a beast since 2013. This guy is just off the charts, unreal. And I think Toronto's going to close it out tonight. The crowd's going to take him home. You're probably going to get a good game out of Kyle Lowry. Ibaka has been playing really well. That APB we put out on Ibaka a couple of days ago.
It worked.
Well, he must have listened because he's been playing absolutely great defensively. He's grabbing, he's getting key rebounds. He's blocking shots.
Yep.
This thing ends tonight, and the Toronto and Kawhi Leonard will have stopped two dynasties. He will have stopped the Miami Heat dynasty in 2014, and he's about to stop the Golden State Warrior dynasty in 2019. He is remarkable, and the Toronto Raptors will win tonight. Crowd, defense, and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I do have to concur with you of everything that you said, but I do not think Toronto is going to win tonight. I think the height factor is going to be a little bit too much for the crowd, and then the players are going to feed off that as much, and they're going to wear themselves out mentally before they wear themselves out physically, and it is going to be a sloppy third quarter, and then that's when Golden State starts to make their run back up to building a lead a tad bit there. But on the flip side, if Toronto doesn't close out tonight, I think KD will come back for a game 6 and a game 7 because what greater way of putting your stamp on your name by saying, "Hey, we were down 3-1 and then I come and played and we win the series." I mean, like we are seeing people post stuff pictures of James Harden, KD, Serge Ibaka, and who some other guy on there from Oklahoma City saying who was going to win the first title, and they're kind of like saying KD hasn't earned a title playing for Golden State, and what better way to earn a title playing with Golden State is to come back and win 3 straight games. So I do not think they close the series tonight. I think Golden State has something to prove. They're going to play with a chip on their shoulder. Klay Thompson has had 3 days rest, so he's a lot more healthier. Steph Curry is going to find his groove again. And Golden State, the Splash Brothers, are going to come to play, and they're going to put up 130 plus points tonight.
That would be new, shocking news to me because I haven't seen any evidence of what you're talking about in terms of Golden State. They I think they've won 2 quarters out of 16.
Yeah.
So what you're predicting, we haven't seen any evidence of any of that. So maybe that'd be a hell of a predictor of you to predict that. It's not like they've been getting destroyed. I mean, they got 92 points. They just got destroyed at Oracle. Right, and Klay Thompson came back and had 28 points. He was pretty good. Man, Toronto's defense, I don't see them at all giving up. Listen, if they give up 130 points, I'll quit.
You'll quit.
No, there's no
you
way.
Won't.
What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Start firing from 35 feet because the lane closes,
yep.
The 3-point line closes? I mean, are they going to 2-point them to death and get 130?
No.
I mean, I see, and there's no, well, if that happens, that'd be the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, that meme that you see walking around, I mean, it is kind of funny because there's some truth to it.
Right.
I mean, Kevin Durant, it would be like Anthony Davis. Yeah, it'd be like Anthony Davis now joins the Raptors and they're world champions. And then Anthony Davis wins Finals MVP and says, "Kawhi, take a back seat, man. I got this." Would you give Anthony Davis all the credit? Oh, he's a true champion. No. You'd be like, I mean, cool, Anthony, great. You joined the champions. Congratulations.
Yeah,
But it wouldn't be like, he took his team, Anthony Davis, and from this and brought him to the depths of this, and now he's finally overcome. Now he's the best player. No, that's why Kevin Durant gets those memes. That's why, that's why he's leaving, Michael. That's why, because he knows that he did a punk move, and that's why he's out of there. He knows it. He has fake burner accounts. He's fighting the media. He's sensitive about it. So
yeah.
That's why he's gonna go and beat and get his own team. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. If he took New York or the Brooklyn Nets, him and Kyrie, and he took them to the Eastern Conference Finals and they beat Toronto, Kevin Durant would get more credit for that than what he's done the last years.
I'm not for sure because if you go to a New York, you are going to build a super team there. You are bringing you have R.J. Barrett, you have Knox, you have Kyrie, and then yourself. I mean, that's kind of another super team that's being built.
No, that's not, Michael. That's not a 73 team with there's no perennial Stephen Curry. Yeah. Stephen Curry was a 2-time MVP and all that.
Yeah,
that's not the same thing.
I see what you're saying, but you're still building a super team on the backside of that. I mean, like it is not, you alone are going to to the Knicks, and you're leading the way like LeBron James did for Cleveland when he came back. Like you are going to have a lot of help. So like do
Well,
you
no, he's
think he
going to
would
have.
give like
Well, if they
all?
go to, I think they're going to go to Brooklyn. That's the rumor. So
Yeah,
he's going to have. I mean, he's not. There's not a lot of help. Jamar because Russell is going to have to leave because they won't have enough money to pay him. Have to trade him off. Russell, their point guard, and so he'll have Kyrie and Dinwiddie. That's not a super team. Kevin Durant. That's not a super team. The Nets, or that's not a super team with the Knicks have, and him and Kyrie, good players. That's not a super team. So if he were to beat Kawhi Leonard, which I don't think he would anyway, so what we're talking about is moot anyway. I don't think Kyrie and Durant on the Knicks is not enough, and with RJ Barrett, it's not enough to beat the Toronto Raptors with if Kawhi Leonard stays.
which
So, but if he
which he
were to
won't.
beat Kawhi Leonard with the Knicks, yeah, that would be something.
Yeah,
He would get credit for that.
yeah, and I do have to agree with you on that. Like I think not being on the Golden State Warriors alone will help his street cred out like a little bit, and
Yes,
and like make him the lovable guy that he was with when he was with
yes,
Seattle and Oklahoma. So
right,
speaking of
absolutely, it will.
speaking of lovable guys, I got an alert here about an hour ago. Sources are saying that the ownership from the Pelicans are looking to trade AD now, Anthony Davis, and they have a multiple team offer in mind. Where do you think Anthony Davis ends up if this does happen?
Well, this is a tough one. Really is a tough one because Mrs. Benson, I think Gail Benson, the owner, um, wife of Tom Benson, who's passed away a couple years ago, said she's not going to deal with the Lakers under any circumstances. So unless David Griffin can convince her, hey, look, Miss Benson, we can get the most out of the Lakers, that would be great. And maybe she can convince him of that. I mean, that's possible. I think what Brian Windhorst is reporting is it has to be a 3-team deal so everybody gets what they want. Because there's no really package out there for Anthony Davis and you get equal value or close to it or what you want. So a third team's going to have to come in there. This is going to be real interesting. Boston, I've heard he doesn't want to go to Boston, and for a 1-year rental, Danny Ainge is not giving up Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, I don't think. Although they should have given up Jason Tatum or they should have given up Jason Tatum, yes, and a first round pick and Al Horford for Kawhi Leonard, because then the Celtics would be about to win. The Celtics would be winning the championship right now. So Danny Ainge is a fool. They would be winning the championship had they just given up Tatum and maybe Horford or somebody else and a couple of first round picks. They would have Kawhi Leonard right now, but Danny Ainge dropped the ball on that one. He didn't realize how great Kawhi Leonard is, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Anthony Davis ends up. I don't really know at this point what third team would be involved. But the thing of it is, David Griffin came into the Pelicans and he did his due diligence. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. As soon as they got the first round pick in Zion Williamson, what he should do is go to Anthony Davis and ask Anthony Davis, look, we want you. I'm new here. I don't know anything that happened in the past. It's me and you here. I'm David Griffin. You're Anthony Davis. Don't worry about all the crap that's happened in this organization before that. I will clean that up for you. We have Zion Williamson. We have a good nucleus. I'm going to go to Drew Holiday next. Do you want to stay here? And if he tells me no, bye. That's all I need to hear. And this is the same guy that had a shirt that said "That's all, folks" on the final game of last year. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that guy in the organization. I don't want that guy. If he really doesn't want to be here, you don't. People always talk about, oh, well, just let him sit and rot on the bench and all that. And some dumb San Antonio Spurs fans were saying that about Kawhi Leonard. Bring him back. Let him be disgruntled. Dude, you don't want a disgruntled player poisoning your other players and the younger players. You don't want Anthony Davis walking around looking like he'd rather be anywhere but where you're at. And then what does that do to Zion Williamson and the young players looking at Anthony Davis like that? It does nothing. As soon as somebody says they don't want to be here, you don't torture them and keep them there and poison your franchise. You get them the hell up out of there quick,
Right.
or as soon as you can with the right deal. So David Griffin talks to Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis informs him, I don't want to be here. Then you find the best suitor available, and if it takes a third team to come in there, then the third team makes it work and you get it done. I wouldn't even count this is interesting. I wouldn't even count the San Antonio Spurs out of this, as well as getting a player and trading off a player, maybe DeMar DeRozan or LaMarcus Aldridge, and we'll see what happens. I mean, but we have no idea what team this is gonna, what third team is out there lurking. Also probably on the table is R.J. Barrett and the Knicks couple of number 1 picks with Kevin Knox and Mitchell Robinson, but New Orleans probably thinks that's not enough, but we'll see what happens. But this is really interesting. This is the best summer I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to get their bag of money this summer, except for maybe Kawhi Leonard. Now I've come around that he's the only one that I see all these great free agents this year, from the Kyries to Tobias Harris. Everybody's going to sign long-term with their team. Nobody's going to bet on themselves and do a 1-year deal this year. It's time to get paid for all these big-time free agents. Jimmy Butler's not going to bet on himself at 30 years old and go, I'll do a 1-year deal here. No, whoever Jimmy Butler signs with, like the Lakers, it's going to be 4 years, $139 million. He's not – the only person that's going to bet on himself maybe is Kawhi Leonard. He'll sign like the 2-year deal with Toronto like I was talking about. Kevin Durant's going to sign a long-term deal with the Knicks or the Brooklyn Nets or the LA Clippers. Imagine that. Oh, and I've heard this could happen. This would be insane. You ready? The Clippers might sign Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard.
That would be crazy.
Now, you talk about super team.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Cancel the NBA season because Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant, you could put me and you at point guard and power forward, and we're going to the championship. That's how good. Now, see, I was talking earlier about pairs aren't super teams. Like Kyrie and Durant, still not a super team. You know what I mean? Like you need 3 or 4 guys. But those two, Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard, man, I mean, you don't have to give up Lou Williams. And you really, literally, I would love to see that actually. That would be funny. Have a D-League roster and have Kevin Durant and Kyrie and Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard play with a D-League roster. I bet they win 55 games. That's how good those two are. If they join up with the Clippers, it's over.
If that were to happen, I would stop watching the NBA. Like I'll be like, it would not be fun anymore. We are back to the Golden State thing again, just moving up, moving up the coast a little bit.
Yeah, so. You'd be back. They'd win. They could win 70 games.
Yeah.
With Durant and then LeBron. Oh my God, he could get Anthony Davis and it wouldn't matter.
Right.
They're not beating Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
like it is what it is.
So all these are all possibilities. Who knows what's going to happen? That's why this is so interesting here. In a couple of weeks after the finals get done, we get through the draft, and then we see a free agency hit, and this is going to be exciting. This is the best free agent time I have ever seen in the NBA. I cannot remember, and I know the NBA very well. I cannot remember a better free agent summer than this one. This is unreal right here.
Yeah,
I mean. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, and just to add to your points there with AD, in the article that I read, it says that the LA teams and the New York teams are front runners in this situation. So meaning the Clippers, the Lakers, Nets, and the Knicks as well. And also while you were talking, I was trolling Instagram real fast, and Anthony Davis did post a picture with Kevin Durant at the game. That's like a while ago. Like I don't know if it was a playoff game, but he just instantly posted a picture within the last 17 hours. Is it kind of like adding some fuel to the fire, just getting the rumor mirror, starting to stroll, or is it all just smoke?
Right. Well, Anthony Davis isn't a free agent, so he's going to have to get traded somewhere.
Yeah.
So. So Anthony and Kevin Durant can't be saying, "Hey, where do you want to go?" Because Anthony Davis is a free agent, and the thing of it is, it's so interesting on the New Orleans thing, because they're talking about Patrick Mahomes on ESPN now. That's another subject we can talk about tomorrow. But it's so interesting with Anthony Davis, is they could do him terrible too.
Yeah.
Like David Griffin, and not terrible because David Griffin for the Pelicans want the most talent back, but man, they could trade him to. they could trade him to whoever. Like it doesn't.
They could
I mean,
trade
they don't
him
have to.
over. They could trade him to the Memphis Grizzlies, and then
Yeah,
boom, they're in the NBA NBA Finals, and then that backfires on them, kind of like how the Kawhi trade backfired on the Spurs. I mean, like it didn't backfire on the Spurs, but
uh,
they were shipping him furthest away from where he wanted to go, and then look at him now. So
well, yeah, but listen, yeah, Spurs wanted to ship him east. They didn't want to play him four
yeah,
times the following year, so they did the right thing in getting DeMar DeRozan. Uh, um, although there was a rumor that the Spurs turned down for Kawhi Leonard the 12th and 13 picks for the Clippers and Tobias Harris. I probably would have done that deal over the DeMar DeRozan deal, but I like DeMar DeRozan. He's a good guy, good player. But
well,
I would
they
have rather
also know
had the
how
12th.
good he is, so they don't want to face him, which makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they don't have to trade Anthony Davis to the Clippers or the Knicks, the Nets, um, and who else you say? Oh, the Lakers or whatever. They don't
Yeah.
have to. They don't have to do that. They can ship him to another team. But that being said, David Griffin needs the best value for his franchise. So
You get a
whatever
third
team
or
makes them the
fourth
best
round, or
offer.
like you get the third or fourth overall pick for Anthony Davis plus a player or two. I mean,
Yes.
you are making a pretty good splash because you could in theory you can get Zion, and let's say Ja Morant slides down to like fourth. You have Ja Morant and Zion on the same team. Your first year, you're doing something right.
Yeah, but let's keep it real though. John Morant's not sliding down to the fourth pick. I mean, that's what I
Well,
mean.
like he
Unless
could like he could definitely slide down to the third pick, I bet.
mm, I don't see it.
I
I think
mean,
the first two
I
picks are
mean,
written in
like, I
stone.
mean, it's a very big stretch, but I'm saying like it
Yeah,
could happen, you know.
yeah.
But it
But
is what it
um, but
is.
yeah, this is the best free agency summer I can remember in a long time. And to throw in the Anthony Davis, who's going to get traded, is a huge deal. And just the clearing the cap room for the Nets, what they just have done. And yeah, D'Angelo Russell's probably not going to be on the team
Hmm.
if and from what I understand about the cap is if they were to if the Brooklyn Nets were to sign Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, D'Angelo Russell would have to be traded. So that's a big news there. Who's getting D'Angelo Russell, a first-time All-Star who's coming to his own now?
He's
Who's
going back
getting
to
that player?
LA.
Uh, hey, that's possible. I mean, you never know. Anything's possible here.
Right. Yeah, and this is the first offseason we haven't had with LeBron James' name floating around either. With where's he going
Right.
to go? Is he going to sign with Cleveland? So I mean, it is crazy to say that this is the most exciting offseason without LeBron James' name in there, and I have to
Well,
to agree with you 100%. Like
well,
this is the most intriguing.
LeBron James is not in there because he's not a free agent, but Michael, he is in there because his team has cleared enough cap space to sign two max free agents. So somebody's joining LeBron as well, and they have a ton of cap room for the two free agents. They have the fourth overall pick. So as dysfunctional, as crazy as this sounds, as dysfunctional as the Lakers organization is, and they are dysfunctional, dude. Like that, it
Horrible.
makes it makes the Cowboys look like a well-run organization, and our Cowboys have been dysfunctional. We don't sometimes Steven listen, the Cowboys drive me crazy. Sometimes Stephen Jones says something, then Jason Garrett says something else, and then Jerry Jones says something else. And then so none of the three are on the same page with the same subject, and it drives you crazy. The Lakers are the way worse than the Cowboys in that regard. And by the way, the Cowboys are getting a lot better because Stephen Jones is making more of the decisions with Will McClay. And so they're kind of like not doing that. He says one thing, I say one thing, and all that stuff. So the Cowboys are getting better and they're drafting better, but the Lakers are absolutely horrific. That being said, the Lakers have enough cap space for two max free agents, and they have the fourth overall pick. The future looks bright if they don't screw this up, the Los Angeles Lakers. And they don't necessarily, Michael, they don't, two players don't have to come to them, like, because nobody seems like they want to join LA, right?
Yeah.
But they can trade. In other words, they can trade to fill up their cap space.
Hmm.
Like they could trade for Anthony Davis, then they could trade for DeMar DeRozan. Okay, so now you're sitting there with LeBron, DeMar DeRozan, and Anthony Davis.
Right.
That's pretty special. That
And
right there could challenge.
and I and I want to retract a little bit of what I said earlier about LeBron James not being a part of free agency. He does not have a no trade clause, so the Lakers could trade him as well if they really wanted to, shake up the world. I
They,
guess like
oh, sure,
you
they could, but LeBron James is the best thing they have going in the
yeah.
organization, so they're not trading him.
Well, I'm saying
But no, I
like
understand what you're saying.
it's a very good possibility. Like if you wanted to bring in whoever,
Well,
if you wanted
well,
to
no,
bring
no, yeah,
KD,
well,
AD,
it's a possibility if LeBron James demand like if he sees like in the next month nothing's going right and they're still dysfunctional and they don't look like they don't know what they're doing, then LeBron James himself is going to be demanded to be traded.
right?
Then they could trade him.
Yeah. So guys, Game 5 is tonight. Marcus has Toronto winning. Is it going to be a close game?
No,
No, it's
no.
going to be a blowout.
Yeah, it's a blowout. I mean, I have seen no evidence, Michael, that dude, they gave up one quarter. This should be a sweep, Michael.
It should
Like
be.
they gave up one quarter in the second quarter, 18 points.
It should be a
They went on an
sweep, but
18
it's going to
over.
turn out to be a 7-game series. Watch it.
Nah, if that happens, holy smokes. Dude.
I do
Like
have Golden
I've
State
never,
win tonight.
and this would be the first time in NBA history that I would have ever seen. And I've watched the NBA since I've come out of the womb. I have never seen a series should have been a sweep, and then it went 7 in an epic series. I can't remember. I mean, Toronto has dominated 14 of the 16 quarters. So for all of a sudden Toronto to go to sleep at home, and then Golden State to wake up. Now, could that happen? Sure.
I'm not
But the
saying they're going to
percentages
go
of
to
that
sleep. I'm
happen.
just saying they're starting to get healthy. Things are starting to happen. They shouldn't have played around with the Clippers in the first round. That's what hurt them. If they would
Yeah.
have swept the Clippers, we wouldn't be talking about this. But
Yeah.
they messed around. They're going to get healthy. Clay Thompson should be 100% tonight, and he gets his one good game every series. And tonight's the night. Then you bring back KD for Game 6 and Game 7, and I feel once KD's back, it's a brand new series. You can throw them getting beat 13 out of 14 quarters, but as soon as you bring KD, like you have to wipe out all the past stats. I mean,
You make a good point. I mean, because KD is that guy. He's a
yeah.
transcendent player. So yeah, that could happen, absolutely. But the percentages is I just wouldn't bet on that.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, it could happen.
If I'm going to go to Vegas later tonight and then lay down a bet, I'm still going to pick the Raptors in 6, but it would definitely not surprise me if this game does get pushed to 7 games, and anything can happen in Game 7.
You watch tonight. The crowd will be so energized.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry and Ibaka and Marc Gasol and them will feed off that energy, and it will take them home to a title. It'll be 110 to 100.
I hope Drake shoves Steph Curry, and Steph Curry gets hurt and Drake gets tossed. That'll be in like the first 5-6 minutes of the game. That'd be awesome. Best moment of my life.
Yeah, Drake. But it's funny in these moments though, you never know because they're at home, the crowd, the energy. I mean, Norman Powell could drop 20 on you. He's that good of a player. Like, Toronto's at home, and it's just a different animal when you're at home and the adrenaline's flowing and the crowd's behind you.
I believe they're calling it Jurassic Park up there or something. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah. I could probably feed off the energy in the crowd and come out there and hit a 20-foot shot. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah.
So guys, that is going to be it for today's show. Join us tomorrow as we talk Raptors championship in Marcus' eyes, and in my eyes, we'll talk Game 6 for Golden State. So join us tomorrow, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this with a couple friends, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.